Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah. Shalom, good evening, and Lailatude to the whole house of Yashar'al, all 12 tribes worldwide, wherever your feet are touching the soil on this evening. Shalom, peace and blessings. Shalom and barakut to you and your entire house. Shalom and good evening to the elder brother Yahudah. Shalom and good evening to the younger brother Ephraim. Shalom and good evening to the former stranger, the former foreigner who was formerly estranged from the everlasting covenant, but having received the Ruach of adoption, who is the Ruach of the Mashiach, who is the Ruach HaKadosh, you have now whereby been engrafted into the olive tree, who is Yahusha, who is Yashar'al, and whereby now having been engrafted into the olive tree, you are now a fellow citizen of Yashar'al. And as a fellow citizen of Yashar'al, you are now whereby privy to the same everlasting covenant and promise and inheritance that was given to Yashar'al and to Yashar'al alone. Shalom to you. Good evening to the whole house of Yashar'al, all 12 tribes, the elder brother Yahudah, the younger brother Ephraim, and the former stranger, the former foreigner who has engrafted into us. Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah. Once again, for those of you who are on YouTube, who will listen to this teaching later on, we Barak Yahuwah for you. We are grateful. We are humbled that the Master Yahuwah has sent you our way. We do not take this for granted. Truly, we do not. We are humbled. We are truly humbled that the Master has sent you our way. And we pray that as you have continued to tune in, that you have continued to be edified, that you have continued to be convicted, and that you have continued to be built up. Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah, and prepared for the hour to come, and perhaps prepared to escape the hour of trial. And once again, for those of you who are on YouTube who would desire to join us live, you may find our contact information located in the channel description. You'll find there an email address that you can email us if you desire to join us live. Nevertheless, I am Dawood Ben Yahuwah, and I welcome you to Yahuwah's Remnant Mid-Regathering, and this is my Aisha Ashayah.
Shalom.
Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah. I have some exciting news for some. What the Master began revealing to us on the Shabbat day, he wants to continue tonight and perhaps continue on into the Shabbat Yom, into the Shabbat day, with respect to the revelation that Yahudah goes first. Yahudah goes first. Perhaps going on 4 weeks ago now, we celebrated Shabu'ut. And again, leading up to Shabu'ut, the Master impressed upon us the importance of this season, the importance of this Mu'adah, because indeed, he has impressed upon us that this season is coming to a close. It is. This season is ending. It is fastly approaching in which this season is coming to a close. The proverbial window in which now there is even now a breath, a wind flowing through that window, is getting ready to be shut to where no more wind, no more breath, no more ruach is going to blow. The proverbial doors of the ark are even now closing, even as I speak. And they are closing in preparation for the proverbial floodwaters, known as the great distress, Yahuah'S trouble, and known by the Gentiles as the great tribulation, is even at our doorstep. It is even at our door, but he has sent his servant by to proclaim to those who have eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart to understand that you don't have to go through Yahuah'S trouble. You don't have to go through Yahuah'S distress, the great tribulation, that he has promised to keep some from the hour of trial. Those who have guarded his word of endurance, who have not denied his name. And so leading up to Shavuot, the Master imparted upon us the importance of this season, and he laid the foundation with respect to what Shavuot meant and what it pointed towards, and that indeed it is the day in which the everlasting covenant was made with man, and the day in which the everlasting covenant was renewed with man. And he showed us that that indeed covenant comes to us. His covenant is renewed in us when we receive his breath, when we receive his ruach. At that moment, the everlasting covenant is renewed in us. We're going to talk about this a little bit more later, but this is just a reminder. This is just a recap, in that in the same way as a man enters a woman and the two become one flesh and a covenant is made, in the same way when Yahuwah, when his ruach enters us as a man enters a woman speaking carnally, there is a covenant made. We become one flesh with him. There is a covenant made. For those who have not received breath, of those of whom he is not entered, hear him. Of those he is not entered, there is no covenant. There is no covenant. And the Master has impressed upon us that it is only those in this season, and this is going to make sense how that applies to Yahudah goes first, but that only those of whom he has entered into covenant with in this season, who have been born from above and who have become firstborn from above in accordance with his righteous Torah, it is only these who are going to be redeemed from the earth and delivered and saved from the hour of trial. And so last week he spoke to us in the Ancient Path series. I believe that was part 54, entitled Walking Not Calling, Yahudah Goes First. Walking Not Calling, Yahudah Goes First. In that teaching, or in that message, he laid the foundation via precept upon precept, here a little, there a little, that indeed Yahudah is to go first. The elder son is to go first. And he gave us some characteristics of the elder, in that the elder is the grown-up son. The elder is the one who no longer walks according to the flesh, but according to the ruach. Indeed, those who walk according to the flesh are still children. This is the younger son. This is Ephraim. This is every nation, tribe, and tongue who are still walking according to their own understanding, or those who are trying to obey the Torah, albeit in their flesh. This is Ephraim, the child, the one who is still throwing temper tantrums, the one who is still operating in envy and operating in the lust of his flesh. This is a child. This is childlike activity, because indeed children simply want what they want, as the flesh simply wants what it wants. And so Ephraim is the younger child. He's the younger son, and those who are currently walking according to the flesh are with Ephraim. They are with Ephraim. And the Master has called those who are grown, the elder son, to be an example to the younger brother, to be an example, to be a light in the midst of the Gentiles. In fact, the Master has stated his case in that if we are not found well-doing, if we are not walking in our calling when he comes, then he's going to make the declaration to bind that wicked servant, that wicked lazy servant, hand and foot, and cast him into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping, and where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And so he is calling upon the elder son, the one who is operating in Ruach, to be an example in this season, to walk according to Ruach, to walk according to his calling, to be lights in the midst of the nations, to be that example in righteousness, to be a living Torah, to be a living menorah, that perhaps the nations will be drawn to us, drawn to the light within us, as moths are drawn to candles, and that perhaps some of them indeed would be saved from the hour of trial. some of them would be saved indeed from the hour of trial. I'm not going to talk further about that. If you are those on YouTube who haven't listened to that message, I encourage you to go and listen to that one before embarking upon this one, before listening to this one. It is very important that you listen to that one first before listening to this continuation. But indeed, if you are taking notes now, if you are taking notes, the title of this teaching, the title of this message is Searching for the Ancient Path, Part 55. Searching for the Ancient Path, Part 55. Walk in thy calling. Walk in thy calling. Yahudah goes first. Yahudah goes first. Indeed, Yahudah does go first. Yahudah does go first. And if you are Yahudah in this season, if you've been born according to the Ruach, I'm not talking to you Yahudim or operating in your flesh. You're not Yahudim. You're not, no one is a Yahudim according to the flesh. You must be born from above. You must be born of Ruach. You must be born of water and of Ruach to be called a Yahudim. His Ruach must indwell you. You must be his dwelling place. As the dwelling place dwells in the midst of Yahudah. Yes, it does. The dwelling place dwells in the midst of Yahudah. And so if you are not his dwelling place, if his Ruach has not entered you, and if he has, you'll bear the fruit. Some of you say that you have his Ruach, but you don't bear the requisite fruit. No, you don't. No, you don't. Quit trying to hide. He sees you. And those whom he's given eyes to see dead people, we see you too. You're not a Yahudim. You're not a Yahudim unless you've been born of water and of spirit. As he spoke to knock the man commonly called Nicodemus, verily, verily, or truly, truly, I say unto you, unless one is born from above, he shall by no means see the reign of Elohim. He shall by no means see the reign of Elohim. So indeed, Yahudah is to go first. Yahudah is to go first. But the question is, to give you more understanding now, and this is not for those of you who like milk. This is not milk. This is meat. This is meat. So get your napkins ready. Get your bibs ready. Whatever you need to do, because this is not milk. This is meat, and you need to pay very close attention to the words of the Master spoken through the mouth of his servant tonight. Why is it? Why does Yahudah go first? Yes, he's the elder son. He is the elder son, but aside from that, is there more? Is there more to cement the fact, to establish the fact? Indeed, out of the mouth of two or more witnesses, let every matter be established. Is there more to establish the fact that Yahudah goes first? Yes, there is, to answer that question. And is there more to the question of why Yahudah goes first? And the answer to that question is also an affirmative yes. And so line by line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. Searching for the ancient path, part 55. Walk in thy calling. Yahudah goes first. Yahudah goes first. Turn with us. Turn with us to the 29th chapter of Genesis. Barashif. Genesis, the 29th chapter. We're going to read this chapter in its entirety. Barashif, Genesis, the 29th chapter. Barashif, Genesis, the 29th chapter. If you are a Yahudim being born of Ruach, this is the time to gird your loins. This is the time to hold on, to hold what you got. This is the time to grab your staffs, because indeed our redemption, it does draw nigh. He is coming soon to gather his people. He is coming soon to gather his elder son. Yes, he is. He's spoken it. He's told us. He said to us, Yahudah goes first. And he said, hold what you have. I'm coming soon. I'm coming quickly to gather my children. If you are a Yahudim, which means that you've been born of Ruach and that you are grown, you're grown up. You are the elder son. Take encouragement, be encouraged, and hold what you have. Gird your loins. Gird your loins. Gird your loins and hold what you have, lest you lose your crown. He's coming soon. And we must be found well doing. We must be found working. We must be found being an example, being the example that an elder son should be to his younger brother. We must be found well-doing. If you're not found well-doing and walking in your flesh, you're going to be left with little buddy. You're going to be left with the younger son to be corrected in the hour of trial. Genesis chapter 29, Barashith chapter 29 in its entirety, beginning at verse 1. Read for us, little one.
And Yaakov moved on and came to the land of the people of the east. And he looked and saw a well in the field, and saw 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks. And a large stone was on the well's mouth, and all the flocks would be gathered there. Then they would roll the stone from the well's mouth, and water the sheep, and put the stone back in its place on the well's mouth. So Yaakov said to them, My brothers, where are you from? And they said, We are from Haran. And he said to them, Do you know Laban, son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. So he said to them, Is he well? And they said, Well. And see, his daughter Rachel is coming with the sheep. And he said, See, it is still high day, not the time for the livestock to be gathered together. Water the sheep and go and feed them. But they said, We are not allowed until all the flocks are gathered together, and they have rolled the stone from the well's mouth. Then we shall water the sheep. While he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. And it came to be, when Yaakov saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban his mother's brother, that Yaakov went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban his mother's brother. And Yaakov kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice and wept. And when Yaakov told Rachel that he was her father's relative, and that he was Rivkah's son, she ran and told her father. And it came to be, when Laban heard the report about Yaakov, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. Then he told Laban all these matters. And Laban said to him, You are indeed my bone and my flesh. And he stayed with him for a new month. Then Laban said to Yaakov, Because you are my relative, should you therefore serve me for naught? Let me know what should your wages be. And Laban had 2 daughters.
Listen. And Laban had 2 daughters. Read.
The name of the elder was Laah.
Listen. The name of the elder was Laah. Read.
And the name of the younger was Rachel.
And the name of the younger was Rachel. Come on, read.
And Laah's eyes were weak, but Rachel was beautiful of form and beautiful of appearance. And Yaakov loved Rachel. So he said, Let me serve you 7 years for Rachel, your younger daughter. And Laban said, It is better that I give her to you than that I should give her to another man. Stay with me. So Yaakov served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed to him but a few days, because of the love he had for her. Then Yaakov said to Laban, Give me my wife, for my days are completed. And let me go into her. And Laban gathered all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to be in the evening that he took Laah his daughter and brought her to Yaakov.
He took Laah his daughter and brought her to Yaakov. Read.
And he went into her. And Laban gave his female servant Zilpah to his daughter Laah as a female servant. And in the morning it came to be that, see, it was Laah.
Yes.
So he said to Laban, What is this you have done to me?
Listen.
Was it not for Rachel that I served you? Why then have you deceived me?
Listen.
And Laban said, It is not done this way in our place.
Listen.
To give the younger before the firstborn.
To give the younger before the firstborn, before the elder. Read.
Complete the week of this one.
Yes.
Then we give you this one too.
Hold up. So here, Laah, the elder. Listen here closely. Understand. Get some understanding to what the text is teaching us. What the master is showing us here. The elder, who is Laah, was given in marriage before the younger. This is all about marriage. This is all about marriage. This is all about the Ruach entering us into a marriage. This is what Shabuah is all about, a marriage covenant. and the elder daughter, yes, Judah is also the elder daughter, yes he is, will enter into marriage first. Will enter into marriage with the master first. Yahudah is a shadow. He is a shadow of the Mashiach. He is the firstborn in a long list of firstborn, going all the way back to Adam. He is a shadow of the Mashiach. La'ah is a representation of Yahudah, as she is the mother of Yahudah. She is a representation of the elder daughter, the elder son, Yahudah, who is to enter into marriage first. You don't give the younger before the elder. Thus, the elder is going first. The elder is going to enter into marriage with our master first. Rachel, on the other hand, is the mother of Yahushua, who is the father of Ephraim, the younger son. He is not given first. She is not given first. Get the context. Oh, there's more precepts. Line upon line. Precept upon precept. Here a little. There a little. The elder daughter is given first in marriage. Judah will be the first to be given into marriage, as Judah right now, and we're going to get to it, is being sealed. And if you are sealed, in other words, if the Ruach has had relations with you, as a man has relations with a woman and becomes one flesh with her, if the Ruach has become one flesh with you and entered into a marriage covenant with you, you indeed, truly, if you are walking out this calling, if you are walking this way, are Yahudim. He's sealing Yahudim right now. He's sealing his firstborn. He's sealing the elder daughter to be brought to Zion, to enter into marriage first with him. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Come on, read, little one.
For the service which you shall serve with me still another 7 years. And Yaakov did so and completed her week. Then he gave him his daughter Rachel too as wife. And Laban gave his female servant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as a female servant. And he also went into Rachel. And he also loved Rachel more than La'ah. And he served with Laban still another 7 years. And Yahudah saw that La'ah was unloved.
Yes.
And he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And La'ah conceived and bore a son.
Yes.
And she called his name Ru'aban.
Right.
For she said, for Yahudah has looked on my affliction, because now my husband is going to love me. And she conceived again and bore a son and said, because Yahudah has heard that I am unloved, he gave me this son too. And she called his name Shama'un. And she conceived again and bore a son and said, now this time my husband is joined to me, because I have borne him 3 sons. So his name was called Louis. And she conceived again and bore a son and said, now I praise Yahudah.
Yes.
So she called his name
Yahudah.
And she ceased bearing.
And she ceased bearing. Yahudah is the elder daughter, yes he is, who was given first in marriage. The younger daughter is not going to be given into marriage until after she comes out of the great distress, until after she has been corrected, because she's still walking in foolishness. She's still walking according to her flesh. She is still walking according to her whoredoms. But the elder daughter who is being sealed in this season with his breath, with his ruach, and whom he's had relations with, the elder daughter is to be given in marriage first. The younger is never to be given before the elder. The younger is never to be given before the elder. The master, he has laid the foundation. Some of you took it lightly leading up to Shabu'ah, even though he told you what it meant. He told you it was about marriage. It was about ketubah. It was about a marriage covenant. Him having relations with you. Him entering into you as a man enters a woman. And thus sealing you for this season. Sealing you. Sealing you for what? Sealing you for marriage. Sealing you to come and take the elder daughter first. And then to come after the great distress to take the younger daughter. This is what this is all about. It is about marriage. It is about marriage. Line upon line. Precept upon precept. The elder daughter goes first. Yahudah goes first. She is the first to be given in marriage. She is the first to be given in marriage. Give us another precept, little one.
We have Ezekiel 23.
Ezekiel chapter 23.
The whole chapter.
The whole chapter. Perhaps the whole chapter.
Oh.
YAHUAH'S chapter 23. Ezekiel chapter 23. Ezekiel chapter 23. La'ah represents Yahudah, as she is the mother of Yahudah. Rachel represents Ephraim or Ephraim, as she is the mother of Yahushua, who is the father of Ephraim or Ephraim. Line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. La'ah, Judah, the elder daughter, is to be given in marriage first. YAHUAH'S Ezekiel chapter 23, beginning at verse 1. Read for us, little one.
And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying,
Listen.
Son of man,
Yes.
there were two women.
Didn't I tell you there were two women? La'ah and Rachel. I did their name by different names here. But this is what it's all about. This is about Yahudah and about Ephraim, the elder daughter and the younger daughter. And the elder daughter is to be given in marriage first. Come on, read.
Daughters of one mother.
Yes.
And they whored in Mitzrayim.
Yes.
They whored in their youth.
Uh-huh.
There their breasts were handled.
Mm-hmm.
And there their maiden nipples were squeezed.
Yes.
And their names was Olaha, the elder.
The elder, read.
And Ohalabah, her sister.
Yes, the younger.
And they were mine. And they bore sons and daughters.
And they were mine. And they bore sons and daughters. I pray you get some understanding of what this is about. The elder daughter is to be given in marriage first. This is why Yahudah goes first. She's given in marriage first to the master. Come on, read.
And their name Shamaroon is Olaha. And Jerusalem is Ohalabah.
This is the elder. Read.
And Olaha whored while she was mine. And she lusted for her lovers, the neighboring Assyrians, dressed in purple, officers and rulers, all of them desirable young men, horsemen riding on horses. So she gave her whorings on them, all of them choice sons of Ashur. And with all for whom she lusted, with all their idols she defiled herself. And she did not forsake her whoring from Mitzrayim. For in her youth they had lain with her. And they squeezed her maiden nipples and poured out their whorings on her. Therefore I have given her into the hand of her lovers, into the hand of the Assyrians.
And to the hands of the Assyrians. This is the younger daughter. This is Ephraim, whom the Assyrians took into captivity in 722 BCE, over 2,700 years ago. This is the younger daughter who was taken into captivity by the Assyrians, who is to be given into marriage last. Read.
For whom she lusted, they uncovered her nakedness.
Yes.
They took away her sons and daughters, and killed her with the sword. And she became a byword among women.
Yes.
And they executed judgments on her. And her sister Ohalabah saw this.
This is the elder, Judah. Read.
Yet she became more corrupt in her lust than she, and in her whorings more corrupt than her sister's whorings. She lusted for the sons of Ashur, officers and rulers, the ones near perfectly dressed, horsemen riding on horses, all of them desirable young men. And I saw that she was defiled. They both took the same way. But she increased her whorings, and she looked at men carved on the wall, images of Kasdam inscribed in red, girded with belts around their loins, flowing turbans on their heads, all of them looking like officers, like the sons of Babal of Kasdam,
Listen.
the land of their birth. As soon as her eyes saw them, she lusted for them.
Listen.
And sent messengers to them in Kasdamim. And the sons of Babal came to her into the bed of carnal love.
Understand the analogy. Into the bed of carnal love. He has two women. He has two women. La'ah and Rachel. Ohala and Ohalabah. Yahudah and Ephraim. And Yahudah, the elder wife, is going to be given into marriage first. Understand the analogy. Read.
And they defiled her with their whorings.
Listen.
And she was defiled by them. And her being turned from them in disgust. And she uncovered her whorings. And uncovered her nakedness.
Yes.
Then I turned my being from her in disgust, as my being had turned from her sister in disgust. And she increased her whorings, remembering the days of her youth, when she whored in the land of Mitzrayim. And she lusted after her lovers, whose flesh is like the flesh of donkeys.
Whose flesh is like the flesh of donkeys. Use your imagination. You're grown folk. Understand the analogy. He's got two women, Judah and Ephraim. Read.
Whose emission is like the emission of horses. Thus you long for the wickedness of your youth, when the Mitzrayim squeezed your nipples, because of the breast of your youth. Therefore, O Halabah, thus says the Master Yahuwah, see, I am stirring up your lovers against you, from whom you're being turned in disgust, and I shall bring them against you from every side, the children of Babal, and all the Kastim, Pakud, and Shawah, and Kawah, all the sons of Ashar with them, all of them desirable young men, governors and rulers, officers, and men of name, all of them riding on horses. And they shall come against you with battle axe, chariot, and vehicles, and with an assembly of peoples. They shall set against you armor and shield, and helmet all around. And I shall commit the judgment to them, and they shall judge you according to their ruling.
And they shall judge you according to their ruling. This is Babal that's coming to get the elder daughter, the elder woman. Come on, read.
And I shall set my jealousy against you, and they shall deal heatedly with you. They shall cut off your nose and your ears, while the rest of you fall by the sword. Your sons and your daughters they shall take away, while the rest of you shall be consumed by fire. And they shall strip you of your garments, and shall take your pretty jewels. And I shall put an end to your wickedness, and to your whorings from the land of Mitzrayim, so that you do not lift your eyes to them neither. Remember Mitzrayim anymore. For thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, I am giving you into the hand of those whom hate you, into the hand of those from whom you're being turned in disgust. And they shall deal with you in hatred, and they shall take away all you have worked for, and they shall leave you naked and bare. And the nakedness of your whoring shall be uncovered, and the wickedness of your whorings. I do this to you because of your whoring after the nations, because you have been defiled by their idols. You have walked in the way of your sister, and I shall give her cup into your hand.
He's still talking to Ahalabah, the elder. You have walked in the ways of your sister, say it again, little. Ohalabah. No, that's the elder. That's the elder. Who's the younger? Ohala. Barak Yahuah. So the elder now, because you have walked in the way of the younger, I'm giving you into captivity. The younger is already in captivity, in which the Assyrians have taken her, in which they took her in 722 BCE. And which now she's been in the captivity, Ephraim, the northern kingdom, the lost 10 tribes, now for over 2,700 years. And they're still walking according to their abominations. They're still walking according to their flesh. He has two women, the elder and the younger. And the elder is to be given into marriage first. She, Judah, Yahudah, La'ah, is to be given into marriage first. He's coming to get his elder wife first. This is what is at stake in this season. He's coming to get his elder wife first, because the younger does not go before the elder. Read, little one.
Thus said the Master Yahuwah, drink of your sister's cup, the deep and wide one, you being laughed at and mocked at, for it holds much. Be filled with drunkenness and sorrow, the cup of astonishment and ruin, the cup of your sister Shamaroon. And you shall drink it, and shall drain it, and gnaw its shards, and tear at your own breast. For I have spoken, declares the Master Yahuwah. Therefore thus saith the Master Yahuwah, because you have forgotten me, and cast me behind your back, therefore you shall bear your wickedness, and your whorings. And Yahuwah said to me, Son of man, judge Ohala and Ohalabah, and declare to them their abominations. For you have committed adultery, and blood is on their hands, and they have committed adultery with their idols, and even offered their sons whom they bore to me, passing them through the fire to devour. Thus also did this to me, They have defiled my Kadush place on the same day, and they have profaned my Shabbats. For when they had slain their children for their idols on the same day, they came into my Kadush place to profane it. And see, that is what they did in the midst of my house. And they even sent for men to come from afar, to whom a messenger was sent. And see, they came, for whom you washed yourself, painted your eyes, and adorned yourself with ornaments. And you sat on a splendid couch, with a table prepared before it, on which you had set my incense and my oil. And the sound of a crowd at ease was with her. And drunkards were brought from the wilderness with men of the commonest sort. And they put bracelets on their wrists and pretty crowns on their heads. Then I said concerning the one worn out in adulteries, now let them commit her whoring, even hers. And they went into her as men go into women, who is a whore. Thus they went into Olaha and Oholibah, the wicked women. But let righteous men judge them with the judgment of adulteresses, and the judgment of women who shed blood, for they are adulteresses, and blood is on their hands. For thus said the Master Yahuwah, bring up an assembly against them, give them up to maltreatment and plunder, and the assembly shall stone them with stones, and cut them with their swords. They shall kill their sons and their daughters, and burn their houses with fire. And I shall put an end to wickedness in the land, and all the women shall be instructed not to commit wickedness as you have done. And they shall put your wickedness on you, and you shall bear the sins of your idols, and you shall know that I am the Master Yahuwah.
Barak Yahuwah. Barak Yahuwah. He has two women. He has two women, which is being played out in Yahudah and Ephraim. Yahudah being a representation of La'ah or Aholabah, and Ephraim being a representation of Rakal or Aholah. He has two women in which he desires to remarry, to re-enter, to renew a marriage covenant with. But the elder is to be remarried first. The elder he's coming to get the elder daughter in accordance with Torah. He's coming to get the elder daughter, Yahudah, the elder woman, to bring her into marriage, to join into marriage with him first. Then he will come and get the younger daughter. But the elder daughter marries first. The elder daughter, this is what is at stake. The elder daughter will marry first, and he's coming to get her soon. He's coming to get her soon. Line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little, establishing this truth. Establishing this, that the elder daughter, Yahudah, is leaving soon. He's coming to get her soon. He's coming to, she is to be married first. She is to be joined to him first, in which he's currently doing. He's sealing his elder wife, his elder woman. He's sealing her, writing his name upon her forehead, causing her to be his dwelling place, entering her, having relations with her, and entering into a covenant with her. He's coming to get her for marriage first. The younger daughter, again, is still in her whoring. She's still walking according to her flesh and the desires of her flesh. She's still operating in many respects, wholly or partially, as a Gentile. She's still among the nations operating this way. And she must be punished. She must be judged. She must be corrected. He's not coming for the younger daughter yet, the younger woman yet. He's coming for the elder daughter to marry her in this season, in a short while. Line upon line, precept upon precept. Here a little, there a little. Read for us, little one.
We got Isaiah 62, 1 through 8.
Isaiah 62, listen, 1 through 8. Isaiah 62, chapter 1. Isaiah chapter 62, verses 1 through 8. Yeshayahu chapter 62, verses 1 through 8. It is important, Yahudah, if you have received breath, that you walk requisite of one who has received breath. That you now walk as the elder daughter. That you walk purely, perfectly, uprightly, being a living Torah, being a light in the midst of the nations, being an example to the younger sister, being found well doing when the master comes, and in his words, behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to reward each according to his works. He's coming to gather the elder daughter for marriage first. Isaiah 62. Mute your mics, please. Mute your mics, and please keep check on your mics. Isaiah chapter 62. Yeshayahu chapter 62. Verses
1 through 8.
1 through 8. Beginning at verse 1. Read, little one.
For Zion's sake I am not silent.
Listen.
And for Jerusalem's sake I do not rest. Until her righteousness goes forth as brightness.
Yes.
And her deliverance as a lamp that burns. And the nations shall see your righteousness.
Yes.
And all sovereigns your esteem.
Yes.
And you shall be called by a new name.
Yes.
Which the mouth of Yahudah designates. And you shall be a crown of comeliness in the hand of Yahudah. And a royal headdress in the hand of your Elohim. No longer are you called forsaken.
No longer are you called forsaken. Read.
And no longer is your land called deserted.
No longer is your land called deserted. Listen.
But you shall be called Kafat Sabah.
Read.
And your land married.
And your land married. And your land married. Yahudah, the elder daughter, is going to the land first. Yahudah, the elder daughter, is going to the land first. To do what? To marry the land. Read.
For Yahudah shall delight in you.
Yes.
And your land be married.
And your land be married. Read.
For as a young man marries a maiden,
yes,
so shall your sons marry you.
So shall your sons marry you. Read.
And as the bridegroom rejoices over the bride,
yes,
so shall your Elohim rejoice over you.
So shall your Elohim rejoice over you. Barak Yahuwah. Yahudah is entering into marriage first. The elder daughter goes first. The younger daughter is never given before the elder. He's coming to gather his people, to gather Yahudim, to join us into marriage with him first. Read.
I have set watchmen on your walls, O Jerusalem, all the day and all the night, continually, who are not silent. You who remember Yahuwah, give yourselves no rest. Give him no rest till he establishes and till he makes Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Yahuwah has sworn by his right hand and by the arm of his strength. No more do I give your grain to be food for your enemies, nor do sons of the foreigner drink your new wine, for which you have labored.
Barak Yahuwah. Barak Yahuwah. Line upon line, precept upon precept, the elder daughter is to be given in marriage first. Yahudah goes first. Read, little one.
2 Baruch 71 through 10.
2 Baruch. 2 Baruch. 2 Baruch. Chapter 70. Line upon line, precept upon precept. Here a little, there a little. The elder daughter is given in marriage first. The elder daughter goes first. Yahudah goes first. 2 Baruch, chapter 70. 2 Baruch, chapter 70. Beginning at verse 1. Read, little one.
Hear, therefore, the interpretation of the last black waters, which are to come after the black. This is the word. Behold, the days come, and it shall be when the time of the age has ripened, and the harvest of his evil and good seeds has come, that all Elohim will bring upon the earth and its inhabitants, and upon its rulers perturbation of the rook and stupor of heart. And they shall hate one another, and provoke one another to fight. And the mean shall rule over the honorable, and those of low degree shall be extolled above the famous. And the many shall be delivered into the hands of the few, and those who were nothing shall rule over the strong. And the poor shall have abundance beyond the rich, And the impious shall exalt themselves above the heroic, and the wise shall be silent, and the foolish shall speak. Neither shall the thought of men be then confirmed, nor the counsel of the mighty, nor shall the hope of those who hope be confirmed. And when those things which were predicted have come to pass, then shall confusion fall upon all men, and some of them shall fall in battle, and some of them shall perish in anguish, and some of them shall be destroyed by their own. Then all Yahudah will reveal those people.
Listen, then all Yahudah will reveal those people. Read.
Whom he has prepared before.
Whom he has prepared before. Read.
And they shall come and make war with the leaders that shall then be left.
Remember, he's coming to get Yahudah to bring us to his Kadush mountain first. Then brought into the land. He's gathering us to be brought to his mountain to enter into marriage with him. He's bringing his elder daughter to his Kadush mountain, 144,000, and those joined to enter into marriage with him. Then those people will be revealed. Then they will be sent back to the land. Come on, read. Because there's nothing new under the sun. I'm sorry. There's nothing new under the sun. As our ancestors left Egypt the first time and went to Mount Sinai, which is given according to the flesh, and then entered into the land. Yahudah, the elder wife, will go to his Kadush mountain to enter into marriage with him and then be sent to the land. There's nothing new under the sun. Read, little one.
And it shall come to pass that whosoever gets safe out of the war shall die in the earthquake. And whosoever gets safe out of the earthquake shall be burned by the fire. And whosoever gets safe out of the fire shall be destroyed by famine. And it shall come to pass that whosoever of the victors and the vanquished gets safe out of and escapes all these things aforesaid will be delivered into the hands of my servant Mashiach, for all the earth shall devour its inhabitants.
Barak Yahuwah. Go back, little one, to the place where the people revealed. And read that scripture one more time.
Then all Yahudah will reveal those people whom he has prepared before. And they shall come and make war with the leaders that shall then be left.
And they shall come and make war with the leaders that shall then be left. Line by line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. Yahudah goes first. Yes, Yahudah goes first. The elder daughter is to be given into marriage first. We're going to revisit this. We're going to revisit this with other witnesses and other precepts to show that this is indeed Yahudah here who is making war. This is Yahudah who is making war, who is to go back to the land first, who is to be given into marriage first, who is to marry the land first. And then the younger daughter is to be brought into the bond of covenant, is to be brought into a marriage covenant after she has been disciplined for 3.5 years during Yahuah's distress, or more properly, or more commonly known rather, as the Great Tribulation. Line by line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. Give us another precept. This is 2 Baruch now, chapter 71.
1 through 3.
Verses 1 through 3. 2 Baruch, chapter 71, verses 1 through 3. 2 Baruch, chapter 71, verses 1 through 3. Beginning at verse 1. Come on, read, little one.
And the Kadush land shall have mercy on its own.
And the Kadush land, our home, shall have compassion on its own. Read.
And it shall protect its inhabitants at that time.
And it shall protect its inhabitants at that time. Read.
This is the vision which you have seen. And this is the interpretation. For I have come to tell you these things, because your prayer has been heard with all Yahudah.
Barak Yahuwah. The land shall protect its inhabitants at that time. Indeed, I shall keep you from the hour of trial, because you've guarded my word of endurance, and you have not denied my name. See, I am causing those of the synagogue of Hashatan, of the synagogue of Shaitan, who say that they are Yahudim, and are not, to come and to worship before you. The elder daughter is married first. She goes back to the land first. This is about marriage. The master has been preaching and proclaiming this word through his servant now for the past 2 or 3 months as it applies to Shabua'u. But he's been proclaiming this message now for as long as he has put breath and word in the mouth of his servant. The messages have been consistent. They have not changed. Go all the way back to 2017 when he first opened my mouth. The messages have not changed. It's about marriage. It's about Ruach. It's about him entering into a relationship with us. It is about him having relations with us. As a man has relations with a woman and enters her and enters into covenant with her, it is in the same way in which the Ruach HaKadosh enters us and has relation with us, thus establishing a relationship and thus bringing us into the bond of covenant. This is about marriage. The master has been proclaiming this. Some of you have been hungry. Some of you have not. Some of you have heard. Some of you have understood. Some of you, this word is falling on deaf soil. It is falling on deaf ears. It is falling void on your ears. But the master, for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart to understand what thus says Yahuwah, he's coming to gather his elder daughter soon. To gather her and to bring her into marriage on Mount Zion and to send her to the land first. The elder is given in marriage first. Yahudah goes first. Read, little one.
Revelation 2:9-3:9.
Go ahead. I already mentioned that.
Okay. Zechariah 12:1-7.
Zechariah 12:1-7. And this we spoke about last Shabbat day. But this is added here just for continuity's sake. Just for continuity's sake, to continue to lay the foundation that the elder daughter goes first. The elder daughter being Judah, being Yahudah. The elder daughter is given in marriage first. She is the assembly at Philadelphia who is kept from the hour of trial. She is the 144,000. This is Yahudah. This is the elder daughter who have been sealed, in whom the master has had relations with. In whom he has written his name upon us and claimed us as his bride, as the elder daughter, as the one who is to be joined to him first. The one who is to be joined to him first. Is that Ezekiel? Zechariah chapter 12, verses 1-7. Zechariah chapter 12, verses 1-7, beginning at verse 1. Read, little one.
The message of the word of Yahuwah against Yasharal. Yahuwah stretching out the heavens and laying the foundation of the earth and forming the root of man within him declares, see, I am making Jerusalem a cup of reeling to all the people all around, and also against Yahudah. It is in the siege against Jerusalem. And in that day it shall be that I make Jerusalem a very heavy stone for all peoples. All lifting it are severely injured, and all the nations of the earth shall be gathered against it. In that day, declares Yahuwah, I strike every horse with bewilderment, and his rider with madness. And on the house of Yahudah I open my eyes.
Listen. But
every horse of the peoples I strike with blindness. And the leaders of Yahudah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem are a strength to me. Through Yahuwah of hosts, their Elohim.
2 Baruch 70 and 2 Baruch 71. These are the people found in the land fighting Yahudah, the elder wife. Come on, read.
In that day I make the leaders of Yahudah like a fire pot among trees.
Yes.
And like a torch of fire in the sheaves.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall consume all the peoples all around,
mm-hmm.
on the right and on the left.
Mm-hmm.
And Jerusalem shall dwell again in her own place,
mm-hmm.
in Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahuwah shall save the tents of Yahudah first,
yes.
so that the comeliness of the house of Dawood and the comeliness of the inhabitants of Jerusalem would not become greater than that of Yahudah.
Barak Yahuwah. The elder daughter is given in marriage first. Yahudah goes first. Yahudah is joined in marriage to our master first. Yahudah is joined in marriage to the land first. This is Yahudah. This is the 144,000. This is Yahudah who's kept safe in the land, as the inhabitants of the land are going to be kept safe. This is Yahudah who is going to be kept from the hour of trial. hear him. You're not, again, Yahudah, unless you've had relations with him. I've seen you, Yahudah. I've seen your works. I've seen your fruits. Those of you who say you are Yahudim, I've seen your fruits. You are not a Yahudim. You are not a true Yahudim. Your fruit stinks. Your fruit is putrid. You are, instead of being a light in the midst of the Gentiles, you are a stench in the midst of the Gentiles. You are profaning the name of my master. For your sake, his name is being profaned amongst the nations. You are not a Yahudim. This message is for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart to understand, in which the master has had relations with. And you are bearing the fruit of the Ruach. You are bearing the fruit. You are walking uprightly before all men, before Yahuwah and men. You are walking uprightly. You're being a living Torah. You're being a living menorah. You're being you're being an image of righteousness among the nations. You're being a light amongst the nations, showing them what it looks like to live righteously. Being an example of the elder daughter, of the elder brother, walking as so, walking as an adult, so that others can emulate and imitate your behavior, that perhaps they will be saved from the hour of trial that is soon to come upon the whole earth. Come on, read for us, little one.
You have Zechariah 14, 1 through 15.
Zechariah now, chapter 14. Zechariah, chapter 14, verses 1 through 15. Zechariah, chapter 14, verses 1 through 15. Verses 1 through 15. The elder daughter is giving into marriage first. This is about marriage. We marry him when he interests us, when he has relations with us. For those of you that still don't get it, when he has sex with us. When he enters us as a man enters a woman, he then enters into covenant with us. He enters into covenant with us. And in this season, in this Muadah, and which again, this season is closing, he is sealing 144,000 and those who are joined to Yahudah. And those who are joined, who are attached, he is sealing us to bring us into marriage, to bring the elder daughter into marriage first. To bring the elder daughter into marriage first. Zechariah chapter 14, verses 1 through 15, beginning at verse 1. Read, little one.
See, a day shall come for Yahuwah, and your spoil shall be divided in your midst. And I shall gather all the nations to battle against Jerusalem, and the city shall be taken, the houses plundered, and the women ravished. Half of the city shall go into exile, but the remnant of the people shall not be cut off from the city. And Yahuwah shall go forth, and he shall fight against those nations, as he fights in the day of battle. And in that day his feet shall stand upon the Mount of Olives, which faces Jerusalem on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall be split in two, from east to west, a very great valley. And half of the mountain shall move toward the north, and half of it toward the south. And you shall flee to the valley of my mountain, for the valley of the mountain reaches to Atzal. And you shall flee as you fled from the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, sovereign of Yahudah. And Yahuwah my Elohim shall come, all the Kadosh ones with you. And in that day it shall be, there is no light, it is dark. And it shall be one day which is known to Yahuwah, neither day nor night, but at evening time there shall be light. And in that day it shall be that living waters flow from Jerusalem, half of them toward the eastern sea, and half of them toward the western sea, in summer as well as in winter. And Yahuwah shall be sovereign over all the earth. In that day there shall be one Yahuwah, and his name one. And all the land shall be changed into a desert plain, from Gaba to Ramon, south of Jerusalem. And she shall be raised up and inhabited in her place, from Benjamin's gate to the place of the first gate and the corner gate, and from the tower of Canaal to the wine presses of the sovereign. And they shall dwell in her, And there shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited. And this is the plague which with Yahuwah plagues all the people who fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall decay while they stand on their feet, and their eyes decay in their sockets, and their tongues decay in their mouth. And it shall be in that day that a great confusion from Yahuwah is among them. And every
Baruch chapter 70 and 71. Read.
And every one of them shall seize the hand of his neighbor, and his hand rise up against his neighbor's hand. And Yahudah shall fight at Jerusalem
And
as
who?
well. Yahudah.
And Yahudah shall fight at Jerusalem as well. Read.
And the wealth of all the nations round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver and garments in great quantities. So also is the plague on the horse and the mule, on the camel and the donkey, and on all the cattle that are in the camps, as this plague.
Barak Yahuwah. The elder daughter is given in marriage first on Mount Zion, and then brought back to the land first. Then the younger daughter will come out of the nations after the great distress. The younger daughter will come and be joined into marriage then at the wedding feast. She will be joined. She will enter into marriage then. She will enter into marriage when there's clean water poured on her, when her heart of stone is removed and replaced with a heart of flesh, and he has relations with her and puts his ruach in her and causes her to obey his commandments. Then the younger daughter will enter into marriage, but not before the elder daughter. The elder daughter is given in marriage first, in accordance with what we read in the Torah. In Genesis chapter 29, the elder daughter is given in marriage first. This is a season of marriage and of sealing. If you have discernment and eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart to understand, the master has not ceased speaking this message through his servant. He has not ceased it. And soon, as his words declared, these are his words. These are his words. Hold what you have. Hold what you have. He has spoken this to us. Hold what you have. I'm coming soon to gather my people, my children. He also said, Yahudah goes first. Yahudah goes first. Yahudah, gird your loins. Gird your loins. Be an example. Be an elder daughter. Be the elder brother. Be an example. Be found well doing. And hold what you have, lest you lose your crown. Hold what you have, Yahudah. Hold what you have. And perhaps save some from the hour of trial by your behavior, by the way you carry yourself, and by the way you operate as a living Torah, as a living light in the midst of the nations. Read, little one.
Zechariah 8:23.
Zechariah chapter 8, verse 23 again. These verses we read last Shabbat, but we're reading them again to bridge the gap, to add continuity, and to further establish the fact that the elder daughter does indeed marry first. The elder son, the elder daughter goes first. He goes first. Zechariah chapter 8, verse 23. Zechariah chapter 8, verse 23. Zechariah chapter 8, verse 23. Come on, read for us, little one.
Thus said Yahuwah of hosts.
Listen.
In those days, 10 men from all languages
Listen.
of the nations take hold.
Yes.
Yes, they shall take hold of the edge of the garment of a man.
Yes.
A Yahudi.
Yes.
Saying, let us go with you.
Yes.
For we have heard that Elohim is with you.
For we have heard that Elohim is with you. Yahudah, you've got to be this example. You've got to be the elder brother. You've got to be the elder daughter who shows the younger daughter the way. You are to be given into marriage first if you're found worthy. If you're walking upright, if he has entered you now, if he has sealed you in this season, you are to be given into marriage first. Such that 10 men, hear him, hear the master, 10 men, the 10 lost tribes. The 10 lost tribes of Ephraim are who? Are every nation, tribe, and tongue. This is who this is. You're to be an example to your younger sister, to Ephraim. So that 10 men, so that Ephraim from every nation, tribe, and tongue will grab the garment of a Yahudi man saying, let us go with you, for we have heard that Yahuwah is with you. We have heard that Yahuwah is with you. He's coming to get you, Yahudah, elder wife, elder daughter, to join you in marriage first in accordance with Torah. In accordance with the Torah, he's coming to marry us first. But in the meantime, and that time draws near. It draws near, Yahudah. It draws near. But in the meantime, we've got to be this example of the elder daughter, of the elder son, so that the nations will grab hold, saying that there's something about you, that Yahuwah is in the midst of you. Yes, he is. Yahuwah is always in the midst of Yahudah. The high eagle is in the midst of Yahudah. The high eagle, the temple, was in Jerusalem in the midst of Yahudah. And his temple, his dwelling place, still is in the midst of Yahudah. Yes, it is. It is Yahudah whom he is sealing in this season. It is Yahudah of whom he's having relations in this season. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we must be examples to the nations. We must be found well-doing if we desire to be the first to enter into marriage with him. Indeed, the elder daughter is given in marriage first. Yahudah goes first. Come on, read, little one.
Jeremiah 31, 14 to 26.
Jeremiah chapter 31. Yahu chapter 31. Yahu chapter 31. Yahu chapter 31. Jeremiah chapter 31. We don't have much further to go. Yahu, Jeremiah chapter 31. Yahu chapter 31. What verses, little one?
14 to 26.
Verses 14 to 26. Jeremiah chapter 31. Yahu chapter 31. Verses 14 to 26. Beginning at verse 14. Come on, read, little one.
And shall fill the being of the priest with fatness, and my people shall be satisfied with my goodness, declares Yahuwah. Thus said Yahuwah, a voice was heard in Ramah, wailing, bitter weeping. Rachel weeping for her children.
Rachel weeping for her children. Rachel is the mother of Yahusuf, who is the father of Ephraim. We find her weeping, hear him, weeping for her children. Read.
Refusing to be comforted.
Refusing to be comforted. Read.
For her children, because they are no more. Thus said Yahuwah, hold back your voice from weeping, and your eyes from tears, for there is a reward for your work, declares Yahuwah. And they shall return from the land of the enemy.
Yes.
And there is expectancy for your latter end, declares Yahuwah. And your children shall return to their own country. I have clearly heard Ephraim lamenting.
I have clearly heard Ephraim lamenting. He's going to lament during the great distress. Yes, he is. This is why Rachel is weeping, because Ephraim will nearly perish during the great distress. If those days are not shortened, no flesh will remain. That's the text. That's what it says. These are not my words. These are the words of the master. This is why Rachel is weeping. Read.
You have chastised me, and I was chastised, like an untrained calf. Turn me back, and I shall turn back.
This is what the great distress is all about. It's about chastisement. It is about a punishing rod, a rod of chastisement to turn Ephraim, to turn the younger daughter from wickedness back to righteousness. Here, he in the great distress, he is understanding and he is acknowledging his transgression and his wickedness after he has been chastised. Read.
For you are Yahuwah, my Elohim. For after my turning back, I repented. And after I was instructed, I struck myself on the thigh. I was ashamed, even humiliated. For I bore the reproach of my youth. Is Ephraim a precious son to me? A child of delights? For though I spoke against him, I still remembered him. That is why my affections were deeply moved for him. I have great compassion for him, declares Yahuwah. Set up signposts, make landmarks, set your heart toward the highway, the way in which you went. Turn back, O maiden of Yasharal. Turn back to these cities of yours. Till when would you turn here and there, O backsliding daughter? For Yahuwah has created what is new on earth. A woman encompasses a man. Thus said Yahuwah of hosts, the Elohim of Yasharal. Let them once again say this word in the land of Yahudah and in its cities. When I turn back their captivity, Yahuwah bless you, O home of righteousness, mountain of separateness, and in Yahudah and all its cities, farmers and those who journey with flocks shall dwell together. For I shall fill the weary being, and I shall replenish every grieved being. At this I awoke and looked around, and my sleep was sweet to me.
Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah. So Ephraim, once again, Ephraim, the younger daughter, the one who is still living lavishly, who is still living as the Gentiles, or who is still walking according to the flesh. There are some who say they are Yahudim, are still walking according to their flesh. They bear the fruit. They bear the fruit that they are the younger daughter and not the older daughter. Not the one who has had relations, not the one who is to enter into marriage first. And so Ephraim, Rachal's son, Rachal's grandson, whom she is weeping for. And she is weeping for him because he is nearly perished in the fires of the great distress, being corrected, being chastised in the fires of the great distress, where he will be corrected. Where he will be corrected. We find him here also coming back home. The master bringing him back home out of the great distress, at which point he will be joined, the younger daughter will be joined into marriage with him. Rachel, Ephraim, the younger daughter will then be joined into marriage with him, not preceding the elder daughter, not preceding Yahudah, Ohalabah, not preceding the elder daughter in marriage. She will come out of the great distress and then enter into the marriage feast and be joined into marriage with him. But what is at stake for Yahudah? It's the joining of marriage in this season, being brought to Mount Zion, being joined in marriage first, as Yahudah goes first, and then being brought to the land. Read us another precept, little one.
Isaiah 54:1.
Isaiah chapter 54:1. Yeshayahu chapter 54, verse 1. Isaiah chapter 54, verse 1. Yeshayahu chapter 54, verse 1. Discern the season. Discern the times. Discern the time. The season is coming to an end. It is coming to a close. Ensure that you are in covenant with him. Ensure that you have received this breath so that he will come and gather you, Yahudah, as the elder daughter, to join you into marriage with him on Mount Zion. To join you into marriage with him. Seek him unlike you've ever sought him before. There is little time left. There is very little time left. Either seek him unlike you've ever sought him before, or be left with the younger daughter. Be left with little buddy to be chastised and corrected. Give us another precept, little one.
Isaiah 54.
Isaiah Yeshayahu chapter 54, verse 1, beginning at verse 1. Read for us, little one.
Sing, O barren one, you who did not bear.
Sing, O barren one, you who did not bear. This is Rachel. This is Rachel. Listen.
Break forth into singing.
Break forth into singing.
And cry aloud.
And cry aloud.
You who have not been in labor.
You who have not been in labor.
For the children of the deserted one.
For the children of the deserted one.
Are more than the children of the married woman.
This is Ephraim. Are more than that of the married woman who is Yahudah. Yahudah is the married one. Ephraim was divorced. Ephraim was divorced. She comes from the barren woman. Rachel was barren. She was barren for a long time. Ephraim comes from the loins of Yahusuf, who comes from the loins of Rachel. Rachel was barren for a long time. She is the barren woman. The married woman is Yahudah. The deserted woman is Ephraim. The deserted woman is Ephraim. She is more numerous than the married woman because Ephraim is every nation, tribe, and tongue. Ephraim is every nation, tribe, and tongue. He is the completeness of the nations. We're laying a foundation. We're almost done, but we're laying a foundation. Laying the foundation that the elder daughter is given first and the younger daughter is given last. But here it says that that Judah is the married woman. Judah is the married woman. Judah is the one that's to be given into marriage first. This is what is at stake. Yahudah will be given into marriage first. Then Ephraim will come out of the nations. Every nation, tribe, and tongue, a great multitude, entering into marriage with the master last. As the elder, as the younger cannot precede the elder. The younger cannot precede the elder. Give us another precept, little one.
Revelation 7, 9 through 17.
Revelation chapter 7. Revelation chapter 7. Again, we read this last week, but we're reading it again to establish continuity, to reestablish continuity, and that is to establish the fact that the elder daughter is to be given in marriage first. Yahudah goes first, and then the younger daughter coming out of the great distress as a great multitude of every nation, tribe, and tongue from the barren woman. From the barren woman is to be given in marriage last. Revelation chapter 7, verses 9 through 17. Revelation chapter 7, verses 9 through 17. Revelation chapter 7, verses 9 through 17. Beginning at verse 9, read, little one.
After this I looked and saw a great crowd which no one was able to count.
Here, listen, I saw a great crowd that no one was able to count. Read.
Out of all nations and tribes and peoples and tongues.
Out of all nations and tribes and peoples and tongues. This is the younger daughter. This is Ephraim. These are the children from the barren woman, which far exceed the children from the married woman. 144,000 Yahudim, and those adjoined are being married first. Only 144,000, and those attached are being joined first. But here is a great multitude of the younger daughter, Ephraim, who is now coming out of the great distress, who is going to be married after the elder daughter, in accordance with the Torah, entering into the bond of the covenant with him now. Read, little one.
Standing before the throne and before the Lamb, dressed in white robes and palm branches in their hands, and crying out with a loud voice, saying, deliverance belongs to our Elohim who sits on the throne, and to the Lamb. And all the messengers stood around the throne, and the elders and the four living creatures, and fell on their faces before the throne, and worshipped Elohim, saying, Amen. The blessing and the esteem and the wisdom and the thanksgiving and the respect and the power and the might to our Elohim forever and ever. Amen. And one of the elders responded, saying to me, who are these dressed in white robes, and where did they come from? And I said to him, Master, you know. And he said to me, these are those coming out of the great distress.
These are those coming out of the great distress. This is Ephraim, the younger daughter, who had to be chastised and corrected. Read.
Having washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb, because of this they are before the throne of Elohim, and serve him day and night in his dwelling place. And he who sits on the throne shall spread his tent over them. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun strike them, nor any heat, because the Lamb who is in the midst of the throne shall shepherd them and lead them to fountains of waters of life. And Elohim shall wipe away every tear from their eyes.
Barak Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah. The elder, however, again, in accordance with Torah, Judah is to be given in marriage first. This is the season that we're in. Hear him. We're in this season. We're in the season to where he's coming to get the elder daughter to join in marriage first, to escape the hour of trial. And during the hour of trial, the younger daughter, the daughter who's still walking according to the flesh, will then be chastised and corrected and turn from unrighteousness to righteousness, turn from uncleanness back to his righteous Torah. After she has been washed and purged and cleansed in the fires of the great distress, then and prepared to be a bride, then she will be joined in marriage. But she will not precede the elder. 144,000 remnant within the remnant Yahudim, who is the elder daughter, who is to be joined into marriage first. Line by line, precept upon precept. Here a little, there a little. We're almost done. Give us another precept, little one.
Luke 15:11-32.
Luke chapter 15. Luke chapter 15. Luke chapter 15. Verses 11 through 32. Luke chapter 15. Verses 11 through 32. Luke chapter 15. Verses 11 through 32. Once again, Luke chapter 15. Verses 11 through 32. Beginning at verse 11. Read, little one.
And he said, a certain man had 2 sons.
A certain man had 2 sons. You can transform this into saying 2 wives, but you get the picture. A certain man had 2 sons. Read.
And the younger of them said to his father.
And the younger of them, Ephraim, said to his father. Read.
Father, give me the portion of goods falling to me.
Give me the portion of goods falling to me. Ephraim is firstborn. And as firstborn, Ephraim receives the inheritance of the firstborn. He receives the treasure. He receives all of his father's possessions. He is firstborn. He is the representation of Adam. He is every nation, tribe, and tongue. He is Adam. He is firstborn. Adam being firstborn. He is firstborn, and thus he receives the possessions of his father. Read.
And he divided his livelihood between them.
Mm-hmm.
And not many days after, the younger son, having gathered all together, went away to a distant country, and there wasted his goods with loose living.
He went to the nations. This is Ephraim, who was taken into captivity in 722 BCE. This is Ephraim amongst the nations now, living as the nations, in which the Yahudim during the time of Mashiach considered them to be unclean and considered them to be Gentiles. Yes, they did. So now he's here amongst the nations, living as the nations, where she is still amongst the nations, living as the nations, walking according to her flesh. Read.
And when he had spent all, there arose a severe scarcity of food throughout that land.
This is the great distress. Come on.
And he began to be in need. And he went and joined himself to one of the citizens of that country. And he sent him to his fields to feed pigs. And he was longing to fill his stomach with the pods which the pigs were eating. And no one gave to him. But having come to himself, he said, how many of my father's hired servants?
Having come to himself. He's going to come to himself. The younger daughter, the younger son is going to come to himself during the great distress. Let's get the context correct. He is going to come to himself during the great distress. Come on, read.
Having bread enough and to spare, and I am perishing with hunger. Having risen, I shall go to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against the heaven and before you, and I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants. And having risen, he went to his father, and while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was moved with compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him.
This is what's going to happen after the great distress, when he comes and joins himself to his younger wife, to his younger son. This is what's going to happen. Indeed, in order to be called his son, we must be born from him. He is not flesh and blood. He is born of water and of ruach. And in order to be called his son, we must be born of water and of ruach, because he is not flesh and blood. He is ruach. And so here, as Ephraim comes home, and that clean water is sprinkled upon him, and that heart of flesh is removed, and that heart of stone is removed, and a heart of flesh is placed in him, and he places his ruach in him. He has relations with him, and then he causes him to obey his commandments, and now he becomes once again his son. He becomes his bride. The younger woman is now joined into marriage with him. Read.
And the son said to him, Father, I have sinned against the heaven and before you, and I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, Bring out the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and sandals on his feet, and bring the fattened calf here and slaughter it, and let us eat and rejoice, because this son of mine was dead and is alive again, and he was lost and is found. And they began to rejoice. And his older son was in the field, and when he came and approached the house, he heard music and dancing.
So he said to slaughter the fattened calf. This is the wedding feast. This is the wedding feast. This is Ephraim. This is the younger daughter now being joined to marriage. Slaughter a fattened calf. We're going to have a wedding feast because I'm marrying my younger daughter now. But now, listen to the elder son, the elder wife. Listen to what he says about the elder wife. Come on, read.
And having called one of the servants, he asked what this meant. And he said to him, your brother has come home, and your father has slaughtered the fattened calf, because he received him back in health. And he was wroth and would not go in. So his father came out and pleaded with him.
Listen.
And answering, he said to his father, see, these many years I have been serving you, and I have never transgressed a command of yours.
This is Yahudah. This is the elder wife. This is the elder brother. Come on, read.
But to me you have never given a young goat, so I could rejoice with my friends.
Listen.
But when this son of yours came, who has devoured your livelihood with
Ephraim,
wars,
the firstborn, devouring the inheritance, read.
you slaughtered the fattened calf for him.
You had a wedding feast for him. Come on, read.
Then he said to him, son, you are always with me.
Listen, son, you are always with me. The younger don't marry before the elder. You are always with me. Read.
And all I have is yours. And we had to rejoice and be glad, for your brother was dead and is alive, and was lost and is found.
Barak Yahuwah. Barak Yahuwah. The elder marries first. The elder, you are always with me. But this younger woman, this younger son, Ephraim, has now come out of the nations, having come to himself and washed his robes, and washed himself. And come into the bond of covenant with me. Now I am delighted to enter into covenant with him. I am delighted to have a wedding feast for her. I am delighted. Ephraim will be joined last, coming out of the nation, but the elder daughter will be joined into marriage first. This is that season, Yahudah. This is that season. We have embarked upon that season. This is a season of entering into marriage with the master. He's coming soon to get the elder woman, to get the elder son, to enter into marriage with us and bring us to his Kadosh mountain, Mount Zion, and then bring us to our land where we will too marry the land in accordance with Isaiah, Ishayahu, the 62nd chapter. Give us another precept, little one.
The 4th chapter of John 1 through 24.
John 4. I thought we were done, but we got just a little while to go. How we looking for time, little one?
127.
Oh, Barak Yahuwah, not doing too badly. John chapter 4. John chapter 4, we're just about done. John chapter 4, line upon line, precept upon precept. The elder is to be given in marriage first, and then the younger. And then the younger. John chapter 4. John chapter 4, verses 1 through 22. Yahudah chapter 4.
1 through 24.
Verses 1 through 24. Yahudah John chapter 4, verses 1 through 24. Yahudah John chapter 4, verses 1 through 24. Beginning at verse 1. Come on, read for us, little one.
So when the master knew that the Pharisees had heard that Yahushua made and immersed more taught ones than Yahuchanan, although Yahushua himself did not immerse but his taught ones, he left Yahudah and went away again to Galal. And he had to pass through Shamarum. So he came to a city of Shamarum called Shechem, near the piece of land Yaakov gave to his son Yahushua. And Yaakov's fountain was there.
And Yahukov's, listen, Yahukov's fountain was there. This is Shamarum. This is Shamarum, sometimes called Ephraim or Ephraim, and sometimes called Yashar'al. Yahukov's fountain, Yahukov's well was there. Read.
So Yahusha, being wearied from the journey, was sitting thus at the fountain. It was about the 6th hour. A woman of Shamarum came to draw water. Yahusha said to her, "Give me to drink," for his taught ones had gone off into the city to buy food. The woman of Shamarum therefore said to him, "How is it that you, being a Yahudi, ask a drink from me, a woman of Shamarum? For Yahudim do not associate with Shamarunim."
Shamaruni, Barak Yahuwah.
Yahusha answered and said to her, "If you knew the gift of Elohim, and who it is who says to you, 'Give me to drink,' you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." The woman said to him, "Master, you have no vessel, and the well is deep. From where then do you have living water? Are you greater than our father Yaakov, who gave us the well and drank from it himself?"
Are you greater than our father Yaakov, who gave us this well and drank from it himself? This is Ephraim, this is Ephraim, this is the nations. The Shamaroni were considered to be nations. They were considered to be Gentiles and unclean. Yet this is Ephraim, Ephraim, the lost 10 tribes. Read.
"And his sons and his cattle." Yahusha answered and said to her, "Everyone drinking of this water shall thirst again. But whoever drinks of the water I give him shall certainly never thirst. And the water that I give him shall become in him a fountain of water, springing up into everlasting life." The woman said to him, "Master, give me this water, so that I do not thirst, nor come here to draw." Yahusha said to her, "Go call your husband and come here." The woman answered and said, "I have no husband." Yahusha said to her, "You have well said, I have no husband, for you have had 5 husbands, and the one whom you have now is not your husband. What you have said is true." The woman said to him, "Master, I see that you are a prophet. Our fathers worshipped on this mountain.
Listen.
But you people say that in Jerusalem is the place where one needs to worship."
Our fathers worshipped on this mountain, but you people say that Jerusalem is the place where we are to worship. Read.
Yahusha said to her, "Woman, believe me.
Yes.
The hour is coming when you shall neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem worship the Father.
Yes.
You worship what you do not know."
You worship what you do not know, nations. You do not know, nations. The Master has shown the Yahudim the way. You worship what you do not know. Read.
"We worship what we know."
We worship what we know. Read.
"Because the deliverance is of the Yahudim."
Because deliverance is of the Yahudim. Read.
"But the hour is coming and now is."
But the hour is coming and now is.
"When the true worshipers."
When the true worshipers.
"Shall worship the Father in Ruach."
Shall worship the Father in Ruach.
"And truth."
And truth.
"For the Father also does seek such to worship him."
For the Father also seeks such as to worship him.
Elohim is Ruach.
Elohim is Ruach.
And those who worship him need to worship him in Ruach and truth.
Need to worship him in Ruach and in truth. I point your attention, however, to the Ha'ikal, to the temple being in Jerusalem, the second temple. The second temple, the second Ha'ikal being in Jerusalem, dwelling amongst his people. Indeed, he dwells in the midst of his people, and he dwelt in the midst of Yahudah. He dwelt in the midst of the Yahudim. He still dwells in the midst of the Yahudim. Ephraim is divorced, and you will remain divorced, Ephraim, until you re-enter into covenant with him, until he has relations with you, and you may be a Yahudi. If he has any relations with you, you with Ephraim. You're with the younger daughter. You're with her. So he divorced you and sent you to the nations. Yahudah, he has always dwelt in the midst of Yahudah. He has always dwelt in the midst of us. The temple in itself is a shadow. It is symbolic of marriage. It is symbolic of covenant. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because it laid the foundation and told the nations that this is my people, and whom I dwell in the midst of. This is my covenant people. This is what the temple, this is the message that it sent, that this is my covenant people and whom I dwell in the midst of. And the Ha'ikal was in Yahudah. It was in Yerushalayim, the physical high eagle. The high eagle is still in the midst of Yahudim. Yes, it is. It is still in the midst of Yahudim. Get some understanding. It is still in the midst of his people. It is still in the midst of Yahudim. We are his dwelling place. If he has had relations with you, because you're no longer going to worship him neither there or on that mountain. The Father is Ruach, and he seeks those to worship him in Ruach and in truth. But in this season, indeed, he is marking his dwelling place. He is establishing his dwelling place, in which he is establishing in the midst of Yahudah. We are his dwelling place. 144,000 nations. You don't know who you worship. You don't know the way. In accordance with Zechariah chapter 8, verse 23, you need to grab the garment of Yahudah. You need to grab the garment of a Yahudah in this season and perhaps be saved from the hour of trial. He dwells in the midst of his people. His high eagle, his temple, is still in the midst of Yahudah. Ephraim, you don't know the way. The tent of meeting, the tabernacle, was removed from Shiloh when Daud went to Jerusalem. And the high eagle temple was built in the land of Yahudah, in which it remains today. But we now, Yahudim, are his dwelling place. We are his dwelling place. And he has shown us the way. Ephraim, you don't know the way. Nations, you don't know the way. Arise, O sleeper, and Mashiach will give you light. Come out of your sleep. Come out of your slumber. Come out of the nations. Join yourself to Yahudah, of whom the scepter shall not pass, nor lawgiver from beneath his feet until Shiloh comes. You must attach yourself to Yahudah. He dwells in the midst of Yahudah. He dwells in the midst of his people. We are his dwelling place. He still dwells in the midst of Yahudah. And it is the elder daughter, his dwelling place, that he's coming to marry first. Get on board this ark of the covenant before the proverbial doors are shut and the flood waters come upon this earth. Nations, hear him. Hear him this night. You don't know the way. You do not know the way. The hour of trial is even at the door. And he's coming to get the elder wife first. The younger one will not precede the elder. He's coming to remove his elder wife to keep her from the hour of trial, which is soon to come upon the earth. 144,000 and those who are attached to her. Attach yourself to Yahudah, of whom the master still dwells in the midst of. Time is running out. Time is running out. And if you are a Yahudi, or call yourself a Yahudi, and he has not had relations with you, you are not a Yahudi. You are part of the nations. If you are a Yahudim who says that he has had relations with you, but you bear the fruit that is opposite, that doesn't, that the evidence of the Ruach HaKadosh is not there. You are not a Yahudim, you're part of the nations. The door is closing. This season is coming to an end. He's coming to get his elder wife, the elder daughter, to join her into marriage with him. And if you are not amongst us, you will be amongst the nations and perhaps be joined into marriage with him after the great distress. Give us another precept, little one. We have about 3 more precepts left, I believe, and then we're done.
Revelation 3:7-12.
Revelation chapter 3, and we read this last week, but again, this is just to reestablish the fact that the elder daughter will be given in marriage first. This is the elder daughter who is kept in the land, of the inhabitants of the land who will be kept safe during the hour of trial. Revelation chapter 3, verses 7 through 12. Verses 7 through 12. Beginning at verse 7. Come on, read, little one.
And to the messenger of the assembly in Philadelphia write, He who is Kadosh, he who is true, he who has the key of Dawood, he who opens and no one shuts, and shuts and no one opens, says this,
Yes.
I know your works.
Yes.
See, I have set before you an open door,
Yes.
and no one is able to shut it,
Yes.
that you have little power.
Yes.
Yet you have guarded my word,
Yet you have guarded my word. Read.
and have not denied my name.
And have not denied my name. Read.
See, I am giving up those of the congregation of Hashatan,
Listen. See, I'm giving up those of the congregation of Hashatan. Read.
who say they are Yahudim and are not,
Who say that they are Yahudim and are not. Read.
but lie.
But lie. This is Yahudah. Read.
See, I am making them come and worship before your feet,
See, I'm making them come and worship before your feet. Read.
and to know that I have loved you,
And to know that I have loved you. Read.
because you have guarded my word of endurance.
Because you have guarded my word of endurance. Read.
I also shall guard you from the hour of trial.
I also shall guard you from the hour of trial. You will be kept safe in the land. The inhabitants of the land will be kept safe, and you will marry the land, Yahudah, as you are to be given first in marriage. Read.
Which shall come upon all the world,
Yes.
to try those who dwell on the earth. See, I am coming speedily.
Listen to him. Hear him. He's coming speedily, Yahudah. He is coming speedily. Make sure that you're found world doing, walking uprightly, walking in Ruach and in truth. Read, little one.
Hold what you have, and no one
Hold
takes
what you
your
have,
crown.
lest no one take your crown. Read.
He who overcomes, I shall make
Listen.
him a supporting post
He who overcomes, I shall make him a supporting post. Read.
in the dwelling place of my Elohim.
In the dwelling place of my Elohim. Yahudah is his dwelling place. He still dwells in the midst of Yahudah. His Aiko is still in the midst of Yahudah. Nations, you don't know the way. You worship what you do not know. We worship what we know because deliverance is of the Yahudim. Tashuvah, repent. Turn from your filth and your uncleanness. Turn from your bickering, you so-called Yahudim. Turn from your slandering. Turn from your filthy ways, your seeking of attention and platforms and slandering your brothers. Turn before the proverbial flood waters come upon this earth to destroy you. The window is closing. The door of the ark is almost shut. This season is coming to an end. Read, little one.
And he shall by no means go out. And I shall write on him the name of my Elohim.
And I shall write on him the name of my Elohim. Where his name is, he dwells. He dwells where his name is. As he dwelled in Jerusalem amongst the Yahudim, he dwells amongst the Yahudim now, who are his dwelling place, of whom he has written his name upon. He dwells in the midst of the Yahudim. He will not dwell in the midst of all Yashar'al until Ephraim, the younger daughter, is washed in the fires of the great tribulation. For now he dwells in the midst of Yahudim. He dwells in the midst of his elder wife. Read, little one.
And the name of the city of my Elohim, the renewed Jerusalem, which comes down out of heaven from my Elohim, and my renewed name.
Barak Yahu. Barak Yahu. When he enters us, Yahudim, as a man enters a woman, he enters into relations with us. He enters into relationship with us. And he enters into covenant with us. And he seals us with his name. He is coming for the elder wife soon in this season to join her, to join us into marriage with him. Give us another precept, little one.
Revelation 7, 1 through 8.
Revelation 7, 1 through 8. Again, we read this on the Shabbat as well, but to reestablish the foundation and to reestablish and to cement the fact that the elder daughter is married first, we're reading it again. And to add continuity, we're reading it again. Revelation 7, verses 1 through 8. Revelation 7, verses 1 through 8. Revelation 7, verses 1 through 8, beginning at verse 1. Come on, read, little one.
And after this I saw 4 messengers,
Yes.
standing at the 4 corners of the earth,
Yes.
holding the 4 winds of the earth,
Yes.
that the wind should not blow on the earth,
Yes.
nor on the sea,
Yes.
nor on any tree.
Yes.
And I saw another messenger coming up from the rising of the sun,
Yes.
holding the seal of the living Elohim.
Yes.
And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 messengers,
Listen.
to whom it was given to harm the earth and the sea, saying, Do not harm the earth nor the sea,
Do not harm the earth or the sea,
nor the trees until we have sealed,
nor the trees until we have sealed, until until the master has had relations with his elder daughter, or with the elder woman. Read.
the servants of our Elohim upon their forehead.
The servants of our Elohim upon their forehead. Precept this again with Revelation 3. Read.
And I heard the number of those who were sealed,
This
100.
This is Yahudah. This is the elder daughter, 144,000. This is it. This is all. 144,000. This is it. And those joined to us. This is it. There are 7+ billion people on this earth. Judah, Yahudah, you better walk circumspect and ensure that he has sealed you, that he has entered you, that he's had relations with you, so that he will recognize you and come when he comes to gather his elder daughter, the elder wife, the elder woman, to join her in marriage with him. Come on, read, little one.
144,000 sealed out of all the tribes of the children of Yasharal. Of the tribe of Yahudah, 12,000 were sealed.
Again, listen here. This is why Yahudah is mentioned first. These are Yahudim. The 11 other tribes, they're Yahudim, because they are attached to Judah. They are attached to Yahudah. Plus the strangers who are attached to us. You are Yahudim. You are Yahudim, just like during the time of our physical land when Yahudah was there in Benjamin and Louis. Everybody in the land were called Yahudim. Now in this season, everyone who is joined or attached to Yahudah, having received breath, having received Ruach, are Yahudim. And when the master comes to get the elder wife, the elder woman, to join her into marriage with him, those joined will go too. Those joined will come with us. Read, little one.
Of the tribe of Ra'abum, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Gad, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Asher, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Naphtali, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Manasseh, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Shamarum, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Lawi, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Yashakar, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Zabaloon, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Yahusuf, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Banyuman, 12,000 were sealed.
Barak Yahuwah. And as the master has previously mentioned, Ephraim is not here with Judah in the 144,000, because Ephraim is the younger woman, it's the younger daughter. She doesn't come to be joined into marriage until after the great distress. Dan is not here as well. Dan will come out with Ephraim, with the younger daughter, out of the great distress, to be joined into marriage with the master. But the elder daughter, Yahudah, is to be joined first. This is what is at stake in the season, and the season is fastly coming to a close. Revelation chapter 14. Revelation chapter 14, verses 1 through 5. Again, we've read this last week, as of many other occasions, but the master perhaps is going to keep reading these precepts until it's coming out of your noses and out of your ears and out of your proverbial eyes and out of every orifice in your body, until you understand and properly align yourself with the truth. He's coming to get the elder wife, the elder daughter, to join us into marriage with him soon. The younger does not precede the elder. Yahudah goes first. Read, little one.
And I looked, and I saw a lamb standing on Mount Zion.
Yes.
And with him 144,000.
And with him 144,000. This is the elder sister. This is the elder woman. This is Ohalabah. This is La'ah. This is Yahudah. This is Yahudah. Read.
Having his father's name written upon their foreheads.
They are dwelling places. I told you that he's still, that the dwelling place is still in the midst of Yahudah. Where he has written his name is his dwelling place. And he still dwells in the midst of Yahudim. He still dwells in the midst of Yahudim. Read.
And I heard a voice out of the heaven, like the voice of many waters, and like the voice of loud thunder. And I heard the sound of harpists playing their harps. And they sang a renewed song before the throne, and before the four living creatures and the elders. And no one was able to learn that song except the 144,000.
Yahudim, the elder wife, the elder daughter. Read.
Who were redeemed from the earth.
Who were redeemed from the earth. Read.
They are those who were not defiled with women.
Yes.
For they are maidens.
They are maidens. They are pure. This symbolizes purity. This symbolizes perfection, purity and perfection, undefilement. Read.
They are those following the Lamb wherever he leads them on. They were redeemed from among men.
Yeah.
Being first fruits to Elohim.
First fruits to Elohim. Being first. Being first. Hear him. Being first. Being the first to enter into marriage with him. Being first. Ephraim will also arise in the first resurrection and be called first fruits. Why? Because there's going to be a second resurrection of the rest of mankind, in which some are going to enter into everlasting judgment and some are going to enter into everlasting life. But they are not first fruits. They are not first fruits. The second resurrection, they will not be first fruits. But this is first. Yahudah is first. First fruits to be joined into marriage with the master. Read.
To Elohim and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no falsehood. For they are blameless before the throne of Elohim.
They are perfect. They are perfect. They are perfect. This is the elder wife. This is the elder woman, the elder daughter. This is Yahudah. In accordance with the Torah, the younger doesn't precede the elder in marriage. This is the story that was played out in Genesis 29 with La'ah and Ra'ah. If you have eyes to see and a heart to understand. La'ah being the mother of Yahudah. Rachel being the mother of Yahusah, who was the father of Ephraim, the younger one. The younger one. This is what is at stake in this season. The joining in the marriage with the master on Mount Zion, being found worthy to be called the elder wife, the elder daughter, the elder son, Yahudah, and being brought to Mount Zion to be joined in marriage with him, and then brought back to our land, where we will be kept safe from the hour of trial for 3.5 years. This is what is at stake. Judah, Yahudah, you need to walk worthily of your calling. You need to walk in your calling. You need to be a light in the midst of the nations. You need to be a living Torah. You need to be Torah made flesh. You need to be a living menorah. You need to be the example of the elder sister. You need to be the example of the elder brother to the younger one, to the nations, to Ephraim scattered amongst the nations, so that perhaps they will be drawn to us as lights are drawn to candles, and that perhaps that through us the master will use us as servants of reconciliation, to perhaps draw them out of darkness into his marvelous light, and perhaps save them from the hour of trial, which is soon to come upon the earth. Barak Yahuwah. Is that it, little one?
Yes, sir.
Barak Yahuwah. Thank you, Master, for your continued word and your continued word of warning and your continued understanding of your word. We're so grateful to be born for such a time as this. We're so grateful for the understanding that you've given us. We're so grateful for the urgency that you've given us as to the urgency of this season that we are in, and the fact, Master, that that window is closing, and that the doors of your ark are closing as well, and that this season is fastly coming to an end. It is my prayer that this word is going forth to the four corners of the earth, Master, and that this word will not return void to you, but that it would go forth and accomplish that which you have sent it forth to do. It is my prayer, my Master, that this word has shaken, that it has disturbed, that it has convicted, that it has drawn men to the floor, men and women to the floor, the place where there is covering for their nakedness and the place where there is forgiveness for their crimes. It is my prayer that this word is gone forth as a hammer that shatters, shattering ground, shattering bonds and chains and shackles, setting them free. It is my prayer that this hammer that shatters, this word that has gone forth as a hammer that shatters, has broken up fallow ground, hardened ground, such that the seed, the eternal word that is gone forth would be planted in fertile soil, such that the water of the Ruach would come and water that seed, such that it would grow to become a mighty tree, producing the fruit that leads to everlasting life. This is my prayer, and I pray that not one seed is falling by the wayside, not one seed is falling on shallow ground, and that not one seed is falling amongst thorns, but that it is indeed went forth and done that which you have sent it forth to do. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, so be it, so be it, so be it. Those of you on YouTube, once again, we're grateful that you stopped by to join us. We pray that you've been edified. We pray that you have been convicted. We pray that you have been moved, that you have been shaken to conform with the Master's righteous Torah, and that you would seek him unlike you've ever sought him before, for his breath, to have relations with him and to enter into covenant with him, to perhaps be found worthy to be kept from the hour of trial, which is soon to come upon the earth. Torah is the way, the truth, and the life. The nations have lied unto you. Torah is not done away with. Torah is the way, the truth, and the life. It teaches us to make a distinction between the clean and the unclean. Come back to that which is clean. Forsake your unclean ways. Forsake your pagan ways. Come back into the bond of covenant with Master Yahuwah. Once again, for those of you, if you would desire to join us live for either our midweek gatherings or our Shabbat gatherings, you may find our contact information in the channel description. You'll find an email address there in which you can contact us in order to communicate with us with respect to your wishes to fellowship with us either on fourth day or during our Shabbat gatherings. Until the next time, Yahuwah barak you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and show favor unto you. Yahuwah lift up his face upon you and give you shalom. Thus you shall put my name on the children of Yasha'al, and I myself shall barak them. So be it, so be it, so be it. Shalom.
Shalom.